the cosmic doorway of July's end. Welcome, luminous soul, to old Buddhist philosophy, a sanctuary where silence breathes wisdom and every number hums with the echoes of ancient prophecy. As July bows toward its final golden hours, something sacred stirs beneath the surface. Can you sense it, not as noise, but as a deep inner nudge? The dates 28 and 30 July 2025 are not mere points in time. They are veiled doorways, portals of power woven into the celestial rhythm of destiny. These moments are not accidents, they are alignments. Have you seen a number repeat? A clock whisper the same digits twice? Has a coincidence ever felt like a message carved by the unseen? What you're witnessing is not confusion, it is clarity beginning to rise. Just as Nostradamus once declared that stars shall fall and yet give birth to vision, and Baba Vanga foresaw awakenings veiled in chaos, so too these days are cloaked in cosmic intention, not chance. In this sacred space between breaths, I ask you to pause, not just to listen, but to feel what is being offered. In the final days of this transformative month, 6 sacred numbers await you, each one a pulse of divine vibration, whispering secrets meant only for the awakened. And if you walk with me through each one, a final number will be revealed, a key encoded for those ready to rise beyond reason and remember why they came. So breathe deeply, allow your soul to soften. You are not here by accident. You are being remembered by the stars. When the soul is ready, even the silence speaks volumes. Buddhist wisdom. Reflect with me. Is it truly a coincidence, or have you finally become quiet enough to hear the call? Type in the comments, I trust the flow, I follow the signs. Number 11, the sacred mirror. Number 11 does not arrive with noise, nor does it seek the spotlight. It slips through the veil with quiet reverence, a flicker on your clock, a whisper in your thoughts, a breath that suddenly feels more sacred than the last. When you see 1111, it's not coincidence, it is a soft knock on the door of your awareness, a moment when the universe places a mirror before your soul, not to reflect what the world sees, but to show you who you truly are, beneath all masks and stories. It does not speak in words, it speaks in stillness, and in that stillness, it asks, are you present, or only passing through your life unconsciously? As we near the potent energies of 28 July 2025, the vibration of 11 begins to rise like incense in the temple of time. It wraps itself around your daily moments, not in grand gestures, but in subtle alignments, a delayed phone call that protects your path, a dream that lingers like smoke, a pause in conversation that suddenly feels divine. These are not random events. These are sacred threads, woven by the silent hand of synchronicity. In numerology, 11 is not just a number, it is a master key unlocking the door between the physical and the spiritual, the seen and the unseen, the self and the self. Nostradamus once alluded to mirrored numbers that arrived before the rise of the inner kingdom, and Baba Vanga saw visions of silent signs, numbers, patterns, symbols that would awaken only those ready to perceive with more than their eyes. This is what 11 brings, the invitation to perceive, not merely to see. It doesn't promise ease, but it promises alignment, if you dare to listen beneath the noise. In Buddhist teaching, the greatest transformations do not happen through force, they unfold in the stillness of awareness. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. And so does the number 11 come, not to stir your world, but to settle your spirit into deeper presence. When 11 appears, it is not telling you something new, it is reminding you of something ancient you already knew. So let it be a sacred bell, softly echoing through your day, a call to remember, to breathe with intention, to notice what's real, not what's loud, to turn inward, where your truest guide resides. 11 does not shout, It reflects, and in that reflection is a divine invitation. Wake up, you are not who you thought, you are far more, far deeper, far more divine. The mirror does not lie, it reveals what your eyes have forgotten to see. Reflect with me. When the mirror of 11 finds you, will you be still enough to receive what it shows? Type in the comments, I see the signs of 11, I choose awareness. Number 7. The Seeker's Path. 7 does not dazzle like gold or roar like thunder. It walks quietly, wrapped in robes of silence, carrying a lantern that only lights the inner path. In a world that celebrates speed and spectacle, the number 7 stands apart, not in rebellion, but in reverence. It does not shine for the crowd, it shines for the soul. It belongs to the seekers, the mystics, the ones who would rather lose the world than lose themselves. If you have ever felt that the noise outside does not match the rhythm of your spirit, then 7 has already found you. As the sacred energy of 28 to 30 July 2025 approaches, the vibration of 7 grows louder, not in volume, but in meaning. It whispers beneath the surface, slow down, you are not behind, you are simply being called within. This number is not about action, it is about alignment. Are you chasing completion or craving connection? Are you checking boxes yet feeling strangely hollow? If so, 7 is not here to warn you, it is here to invite you back to yourself. In ancient Buddhist teachings, 7 is not a number, it is a path. The 7 steps of the newborn Buddha symbolize the beginning of awakening. Each step echoes the journey of coming home to truth, one breath at a time. The seeker walks not to achieve, but to remember. Stillness is not failure, it is insight blooming in sacred soil. As the Dhammapada says, wisdom springs from meditation. Without meditation, wisdom wanes. And so 7 reminds us, true clarity is not something we chase, it is something that arises when we pause. Cosmically, 7 resonates with Neptune, the planet of dreams, intuition, and the unseen realms. It does not command with logic, it moves through feeling. It dissolves the illusion of separation and asks us to trust what we cannot touch. Nostradamus once prophesied of veils lifting in the year of mirrored moons, and Baba Vanga spoke of a time when the wise would hear through silence, not sound. These are the echoes of 7, calling not to the many, but to the few who are willing to sit in the sacred unknown. So light a candle, journal your dreams, sit with the questions you've been too busy to ask. Let this number walk beside you between 28 and 30 July, not as a goal, but as a guide. In its quiet steps, you may find your loudest truth. Not all who wander are lost, but all who awaken must wander inward first. Reflect with me, in the rush to be everything, have you forgotten how to simply be? Type in the comments, I welcome the wisdom of 7, I pause to listen. Number 28, the silent builder. 28 does not arrive with celebration. It does not seek the limelight or cry out for recognition. It is the number of the silent builder, the one who labors beneath the surface, crafting temples of strength, while the world looks elsewhere. In its rhythm lies quiet resilience. In its repetition, divine devotion. If you have been showing up day after day, giving your heart without applause, moving bricks no one sees, 28 is your sacred mirror. It is here to remind you, not all growth is visible, but all growth matters. 2 is the number of relationship, of harmony, of shared energy. It reminds us that we do not walk alone, and that spiritual alignment is often found in the spaces between hearts. 8, on the other hand, spins with the force of karma and purpose. It brings the echo of destiny, the return of all you've poured out. When these two forces unite, 28 emerges, a message from the universe that your patience has power and your consistency is not in vain. As we cross into 28 July 2025, this energy intensifies, not loudly, but deeply. In the Dharma, we learn that even the Buddha did not walk alone. His journey was supported by the Sangha, the spiritual community, the sacred companionship of seekers. Just as a candle does not burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. The Buddha reminds us. So too, 28 speaks not only of building in silence, but of knowing when to open your hands and allow others to walk beside you. Perhaps now, the universe is nudging you toward connection. A teacher may appear, a friend may surface, a quiet guide might enter your path, not to save you, but to remind you who you are. Even the prophets saw this. Baba Vanga often whispered of the unnoticed builders who would hold the world steady in times of collapse, and Nostradamus wrote cryptically of pillars rising without trumpet or fanfare, yet holding empires in place. These are the energies of 28 steady hands, strong hearts, and sacred patience. So trust your quiet path. Let your sacred work continue. Light your inner lamp and build with faith, not for praise, but for purpose. Every stone you lay in love is already known by the cosmos. The strongest temples are not built in noise, but in silence, stone by sacred stone. Reflect with me, in your silent efforts, what sacred structure are you truly building? Type in the comments, I trust my quiet path, I honor my sacred progress. Number 5, the wake-up flame. 5 does not arrive with stillness. It enters like lightning, sudden, luminous, undeniable. It is the jolt that breaks the trance. The cry beneath the silence, the sharp breath that shatters routine. 5 is not the comforter. It is the awakener. When you feel stuck in the loop of sameness, when each day feels like a faded echo of the one before, it is 5 that pierces the veil and declares, not to destroy your path, but to redirect it, to remind you that you are not here to survive repetition, but to rise through transformation. In the realm of Buddhist numerology, 5 carries the sacred role of the disruptor, but its disruption is never chaos for chaos's sake. It is Dharma in motion. It comes not to break you, but to unbind you. Just as the Buddha left his palace upon seeing suffering, 5 too calls you to walk out of what is familiar and into what is real. It is the moment your soul flinches at comfort and longs for truth. The teachings tell us, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past again and again. 5 is that shedding. That uncomfortable miracle of becoming, as we step into the energetic window of 30 July 2025, 5 dances fiercely with the planet Mercury, stirring thoughts, sparking questions, shaking the roots of old stories. You may feel restless. You may feel pulled in new directions. This is not confusion. This is clarity knocking louder. Nostradamus once predicted a fire of mind and movement before great global shifts, and Baba Vanga foresaw a year where courage will replace comfort in the hearts of the chosen. These are not random echoes. They are frequencies of 5, reverberating through the fabric of your becoming. 5 does not promise ease. It promises momentum. When you see it, your soul is already moving, even if your feet have not yet followed. Change is not comfortable, but neither is stagnation, and 5 knows which one your spirit was built for. It is the number of courage, of action, of motion, born from meaning. When it appears again and again, it is not repeating, it is insisting. Leap, shift, burn the false, align with what is real. So if fear whispers, let 5 roar louder. Let it carry you not away from stability, but toward authenticity. The path ahead may feel uncertain, but what if the fire you fear is actually the light that guides you home? Transformation is not a choice, it is a consequence of awakening. Reflect with me, what have you been clinging to that 5 is now asking you to release? Type in the comments, I embrace the change of 5, I move with courage. Number 15, the gentle return. 15 does not arrive to stir the storm, it arrives to calm the sea. It is not the thunder that wakes you, but the soft hand on your shoulder, reminding you to breathe. In a world that worships urgency and rewards noise, 15 is the number that steps away from the crowd and whispers, "Come home to yourself." It does not push, it does not pressure, it simply invites, and in that gentle invitation lies the deepest kind of healing. The essence of 15 is balance, the sacred dance between the independence of 1 and the emotional depth of 5. It blends will with wisdom, movement with meaning. It does not ask you to run, it asks you to pause. Not to retreat from life, but to return to your center within it, to sit with your soul and listen, without the need to fix or achieve. As 30 July 2025 draws near, 15 carries a rare kind of energy, not one of explosions, but of reunions, not of battles, but of belonging. In Buddhist teaching, this is the breath of mindfulness, not striving, not escaping, just being, with compassion, with presence, with peace. To understand everything is to forgive everything, the Buddha said. 15 reminds us that understanding begins not with others, but within, in the space where we finally stop performing and simply allow ourselves to be seen, even by our own heart. 15 may also arrive in times when you feel scattered or disconnected, a sign that wholeness is not somewhere far but waiting right where you are. Nostradamus once wrote of a soft return, led not by force, but by the breath of knowing, while Baba Vanga spoke of quiet awakenings wrapped in ordinary days. These prophecies may not have shouted, but they were not they pointed toward energies like 15, where transformation happens not in action, but in acceptance. So light a candle, touch your chest, feel your breath rise, like a tide that never left you. This is not a return to who you were, it is a return to who you've always been beneath the noise, the soul that watches, the heart that waits, the center that never moved. You do not need to become, you only need to return. Reflect with me, what part of you have you left behind, that 15 is now asking you to come home to? Say in the comments, I honor the call of 15, I return to presence. Number 44, the unshakable ground. 44 does not rush, it does not chase. It arrives like a stone temple weathered by time, unmoved, unshaken, unmistakably eternal. It is the number of deep roots and sacred structure, the quiet rhythm of a soul that is no longer seeking noise to feel whole. In a world that glorifies quick fixes and fast fame, 44 is the quiet reminder, do not confuse motion with meaning. Depth is greater than speed. This is the energy that builds legacies, not trends. Temples, not tents. You may glimpse 44 on receipts, license plates, digital clocks, and wonder why. It is not coincidence. It is construction. A sacred signal that the universe is not just watching you, but building with you. Brick by brick, breath by breath. It is the vibration of the spiritual architect. A soul who chooses presence over panic, intention over impulse. And as we cross the threshold of 30 July 2025, 44 rises from the earth to anchor you. Not to hold you back, but to hold you upright. In the sacred language of numerology, 44 is a master number, a double force of stability, strength, and soul-aligned work. It asks not what you're achieving, but what you're aligning. In the teachings of the Buddha, we are reminded that the tree of enlightenment does not grow overnight. A jug fills drop by drop. And so too, your foundation is built, not in leaps, but in quiet returns to the present moment. 44 reminds us that real growth is never rushed. It is earned in stillness. It is revealed through presence. Baba Vanga once whispered of those who would hold the ground when others scatter, and Nostradamus wrote of twin pillars rising in silence, bearing the burden of future truth. These were not vague metaphors, they were prophecies for souls like yours, the ones called not to escape the world, but to ground it, to steady it, to build it with sacred intention. So when you see 44, let it bring you back, let it root your breath, let it remind you that you are not behind, you are being laid into place, like a cornerstone of something eternal. Trust the structure forming beneath your feet, even if you cannot yet see its shape. You are not lost, you are being reinforced. The tallest trees are silent, but they have the deepest roots. Reflect with me. Are you building from fear, or from the clear, unshakable ground of your becoming? Type in the comments, I build with intention, I become unshakable. If you've walked this entire path with me, if your breath has slowed, if your heart stirred with recognition, then something within you is already shifting. You've opened to the sacred energies of 11, 7, 28, 5, 15, and the anchoring truth of 44. Each number a vibration, each message a mirror. And now, as we rest in the stillness at the end of this journey, a final number waits, not above you, but within you. This is not a number chosen by chance or by trend. It does not appear in predictions or in charts. It appears in alignment. It rises when the soul is ready. It speaks when silence is deep enough to hear. This number is not given, it is discovered by you. In the coming days, as the sun sets on 30 July 2025, you may see it on a receipt, in a dream, in a breathless moment between thoughts. Watch, listen, you'll know. This number is not just a sign, it is a signal, a personal prophecy, a spiritual cipher. Nostradamus once wrote of hidden codes in plain sight, speaking not to the world, but to the soul. Baba Vanga foretold that, in the final hour of July, many will be called by symbols only they can read. Could this be that moment for you? There is no rush. The number will find you. Just as truth always finds those who are ready not to chase, but to receive. The final number may be small, but its impact will be vast, because it is the number that completes your pattern, that unlocks your path, that whispers, now, become strong. You need not find the way, you only need to remember you are it. Old Buddhist wisdom. Reflect with me, what number has been following you, waiting for you to stop running and finally turn to meet it? Type in the comments, I'm ready for the final number. I align with the universe. Subscribe to Old Buddhist Philosophy. Like, share, and keep returning. Because these numbers, like the ancient truths, were never random. They were always returning you to yourself.